that there's a person when that phone rings. So again, I'm going to read it one more time. It's 248-658-3330. I must have said 00.
Said 00.
Yes. But it's 30 and then option 2. Okay. I'll make sure this goes out on Facebook. We'll do an email blast to everyone again to make sure that they have this information. I ask the residents to please go to our website. A lot of the data is there. We did this as quickly as we possibly could so that that information was there. And, you know, I've heard some from other individuals who are anxious to go out and help and just, again, you've heard the stories from the city council. I guess I can add to that as well, because I've spoken personally with many residents regarding this issue. Again, I ask everybody to, again, please go to our website at www.berkleymish.org, or else just pick up the phone and we'll do our best to address your questions. Believe me, if I knew exactly when our garbage would be picked up, it would be all over the place. But we too, as many of the council members here have expressed, that we're just as frustrated sometimes. But we are not the only city that's being affected. It's this entire region, and that includes more than 13 communities, and including the cities of Warren and Livonia and Detroit. And so, again, it's not just us, but it's everyone. And we ask to please go to our website. We'll give you as much information as we can. And again, we thank you for your patience. And I'd be more than happy to meet with any resident. I know I've done that when they come to my office and explain. As Councilman Stedman mentioned, you know, please fill out those forms. They're helpful. We can only do what we can. We'll send them out to the insurance company. They'll take a look at them. I have to thank my staff. They've done a tremendous job. Many of them have worked around the clock. And again, these are individuals that nobody will ever know. Our public works crew, I think they're at the point of sheer exhaustion. They've worked around the clock. They've done their best to collect trash. As I said earlier, we're one of the few cities that are actually going out there and collecting the trash ourselves and taking them to our transfer stations. I don't know of any other city that's doing that. And we're using our trucks and our staff, and it's heavy work. I don't know if anybody has ever collected trash, but it's not easy. So please bear with us. And again, our public safety officers, as Councilman Blanchard mentioned, they've gone above and beyond. And again, there's many stories that we can share with you that's not out there. But I don't know what I do with the staff, and especially administration. Many of the employees are helping me to gather some information. The reports that I have to put together for the Oakland County Homeland organization, you cannot imagine the kinds of information that they're asking from us in such a short period of time. And I think all of us, I know that I've worked a tremendous amount of hours. Our mayor, I have to give him a little bit of acknowledgement. He's been with us at many of these meetings that we've held, and he's you know, he works and he has all the other things that he has to do, but he's there. And Mr. Mayor, thank you very much. I don't know what I do if you weren't there immediately to help us address some of these issues. So thank you, sir, and thank you, everyone. Thank you, council, as well, for all your work as well. Many of you have come up with many suggestions. I'll take them back to staff again. We'll do our best to work with them. When I was an assistant to the city manager in LaPorte, Texas, I dealt with hurricanes, and this is not a hurricane. And oh my God! Instead of dealing with flooded basements, we dealt with homes actually being underwater. And so it was a tremendous task, but I learned a lot from that, and I know that I was able to work with staff on some of the things that we've done. We'll do our better. We'll do a better job on communication. Obviously, that's something that's key here. But again, it works two ways. please go to our site, pick up the phone, or come to City Hall, and we're here, and we'll do our best to answer and help in whatever way that we can. So thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And if I just thank the Dream Cruise people. I know it couldn't have happened at a more inopportune time, but as many of you have said, maybe this is a perfect timing to just help us take our minds off it, even if it's just for a little while. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
And thank you, City Council.
Mr. Sabuda.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have nothing this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney.
A couple of things, if I may, Council, non-storm related. First, as the city continues to work with residents and business owners and property owners in the city to try to satisfactorily address parking issues that have arisen. One of the things one action that has been discussed that we've been working on is a valet parking ordinance. I want council to know a valet parking ordinance has been prepared and is currently undergoing review by staff. I suspect it'll be probably coming before council in the near future for another work session, but what this valet parking ordinance would do is for businesses that are serviced by valet parking, it would require a permitting process and would also include various standards and regulations that we don't currently have governing how the valet parking takes place and where, and having a firm plan in place that is approved by the city, and hopefully with a better notification process for the city as well when the plan is deviated from. So it's certainly not an entire solution, but it's one step toward hopefully creating a better situation for businesses and the neighborhoods that surround them, as we want our businesses to thrive, but not at the expense of our neighborhoods. We also want to continue to try to facilitate ways where we are not creating seas of asphalt when we already have parking areas available, but we need to figure out ways to better utilize and more efficiently use those parking areas, again, in an orderly way, orderly, non-disruptive way. The other issue relates to our marijuana vote that will be coming up in November. As council knows, so it was discussed, it's been discussed at several meetings, but certainly at the July meeting, we do have a proposed charter amendment by initiative petition, in other words, resident initiated petition, that if it passes, or what's proposed rather, is that nothing in our code of ordinances shall apply to the use, possession, or transfer of less than 1 ounce of marijuana on private property not used by the public, or transportation of less than 1 ounce of marijuana by a person who has attained the age of 21 years. In accordance with the law, the city clerk did transmit the proposed ordinance amendment, a charter amendment to the governor's office and to the attorney general's office for their review. The attorney general has already responded back. I believe the council has seen the attorney general's letter. I just want to highlight a couple of points for you where the attorney general does point out that there is nothing in that proposed amendment that limits the responsibility of a Berkeley city police officer to enforce the state's criminal laws, which include those applicable to marijuana. The attorney general also points out that in his review of the ballot language, and I'll just quickly read this passage. The Attorney General says, "I have examined the ballot language for the proposed amendment as set forth in the petition. The ballot language is inaccurate because it does not inform the voters that the proposed amendment conflicts with state law. the ballot language also does not inform the voters that state law will control regardless of whether the proposed amendment is adopted. So ultimately, the Attorney General has reported and advised that he believes that this proposed charter amendment would conflict with state law. However, he recognizes that nonetheless, under our law, it still goes to the voters on the November ballot. But just to kind of help council understand and the general public that what our Attorney General is telling us is that even if this is adopted, state laws will still prevail, and our police officers are still empowered and obligated to enforce those state laws relative to marijuana, at least until such time as state and federal law is changed.
Very good. Thank you. In keeping with the legal theme, there was some discussion this evening about whether we have experienced a flood or a sewer backup. We don't get to make the definitions of what the event is to be called. That becomes a matter for the legal profession and the insurance industry. And so the language that one city may use might be different than another, but it has absolutely no bearing on the legal status of how it is to be understood. Now, our people are hurting, but I am inspired by their great spirit of cooperation, of helping one another, even in the most difficult times. I like what Councilmember Baker said in particular. We need to communicate what we know and what we don't know. There is often an assumption that if you are a municipality or a state government that you know a lot more than you actually know. And somehow, by implication, you are withholding some information that you have. We don't know a great deal about the procedures of FEMA. These approaches go through the governor's office, and each day they issue new requirements for more information and different types of information. So I like the notion of separating on our website the things we know and the things that are as yet unclear and not decided, or in the province of someone else to decide. Another item is a concern about rumors. I was told very definitely, with great certitude, that a local city was writing checks to people who had water in their basement. Indeed, a humorous notion. But in our distress, sometimes we're willing to hang on to any straw, any hope. But let me assure you, there's no local community writing checks. We are dependent upon what the state might possibly be able to do, or the federal government. But one way or the other, I am impressed by the collegial spirit of our community. People coming together, even in their pain, even in their distress. Irritable sometimes, looking at your prized possessions out on the sidewalk, and then somebody going through and trying to pick something out of it. It adds insult to injury. But the character of our people will triumph. We will get past this, and we will continue to celebrate being in one of the greatest cities in America. On that thought, is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn by Councilmember Kadekel with support by Councilmember Baker. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll?
Edgar,
Yes.
Kadeko,
Yes.
Stedman,
Yes.
Turbrack,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Blanchard,
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. The meeting is adjourned.